discussed, we earlier talked about the different plans and efforts by the government to be able to continue the process of development. We're very delighted to be having with us live over the phone Mr. Abdul Latif Wahba, the political and economic analyst. Good morning, Mr. Abdul Latif.
Good morning, dear.
How are you doing, sir? First of all, talk to us about your own assessment of the current program of the new government to be able to enhance the economic and political development for 2024-2025.
As you know, the world is still completely influenced by the political situations and the economic situations at the same time. They suffered from the Ukraine-Russian war and also the Israeli war against the Gazan people and the tensions in the Red Sea. This means that the chain of supplies are still disrupted, and Egypt and other countries are suffering from the imported stagflations, especially as you know that we imported a great volume of wheat and vegetable oils and so on. So Egypt plans, or Egypt's cabinet plans a new short-term plan over the coming 3 fiscal years. This is, of course, to curb the stagflation, to cut unemployment, and at the same time to increase the foreign direct investment inflow to Egypt. And Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouly, during his meeting or his speech before the parliament, he told that we are planning to increase our foreign direct investment, and at the same time to increase the gross domestic product at the same time. This means that the government must present the procedures and the elements that can lead to achieve this 3 years short-term plans. According to Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouly, he told that we are planning to increase our exports by 15% annually. This is, of course, to achieve the target directed by President Fattah al-Sisi to the cabinet to reach or to increase the Egyptian exports to outside to $100 billion. This is one. On the other hand, as you know, that the unemployment rate during the last year, especially in the last quarter, decreased to 6.2 or 6.1. This is, of course, also a success for the Egyptian economy. But the main the core problem is how to get the foreign direct investment, how to attract the foreign direct investment in the Egyptian economy, as many countries and many regions are in a competition to attract more foreign direct investment. I think they are targeting to get about $15 billion in the current fiscal year, 24-25. It means that you can improve and you can build a new utilities, new borders, industrial borders, and also the main infrastructures. As you know that Egypt, for example, yesterday signed initially a contract with the European countries to support the green energy to Europe in the coming years. And I think they will start by the end of 2024. At the same time, that you know that according to the Prime Minister and his plan, they are targeting to make the social safety net more stronger than the last years, especially after they declared that there is just now a dialogue about the subsidies in Egypt, and if it can be changed from commodity subsidies to cash subsidies. This is, I think, an important point, and they will discuss it in the national dialogue. And at the same time, as you know, that Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli committed to implement all the output of the national dialogue, especially in the economic that is concerning the economic situations and economic sectors and so on.
Right. So how do you assess the statement that came by Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, together we shall build a sustainable future? The title of the statement is very attractive, and it's also very enforcing and empowering to the new members of the cabinet. So talk to us about your own assessment.
Go on. As you know that the coming 3 periods, or the short plan of the coming 3 years, I think it's completely different of what they achieved during the last years. Why? Because you choose a short plan, 3 years. This means that you can take any urgent procedures. You can speculate the future at the same time, and if anything happened, you can take an action against any problem. So they choose to declare a new future in a short plan, in a short 3 years plan, not in 10 years. Although we have a long one until 2030. This is, of course, to take any procedures suddenly against any foreign problems and so on. And this is they implemented just now during the last 2 weeks in oil sectors, for example, and on how to tackle with the electricity cost and how to provide and secure the power electricity planets with the fuel they needed for their operations. They started or they contracted on about 70 cargoes from the natural gas, and they can use it just now. But they preferred to sell a stockpiles or a strategic stockpiles that can be used in any critical times. This is what they achieved just now. And at the same time, as you know, that Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli declared that we are targeting to cut the budget deficit and the foreign debt to about 80% of GDP during the coming 3 years. This is compared to about 92 or 95% of GDP just now.
Right. Of course, all eyes are set on the new cabinet and also the new chosen ministers for different ministries. I mean, the assessment of the whole reshuffle is going to be the talk of the hour for the coming 5 months. The performance of the new ministries, the programs that are set by the new ministers are going to be topic for the press for a lot of time. If you like to elaborate on this.
Yeah, of course, as you know that the new shuffle in the cabinet and the new members, I mean ministers, especially who participated for the first time in the high governmental ranks as ministers and so on. They started during the last years. Everyone in his ministry presented his plan and his expectations for the coming 3 years, and at the same time how to implement all of his procedures, of his ministry procedures. And this is, of course, as Prime Minister Madbouli told, we don't have, they asked, by the way, they asked the Prime Ministers to make revisions for their plans and what has been achieved and so on after 100 days. But Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, after his meeting with President Abdul al-Sisi, he refused this period, and he told them or informed them that Egypt doesn't have the luxury of the time, and the people at the same time, they don't have a patience to wait for 100 days. So they will present what they achieved, I think, every month.
About the urgent files that had to be pressed on immediately by the new ministries.
We have all the ministers and the new ministers, and at the same time, the urgent problems and the cases, they have to deal with it from the first day. For example, how to cut the prices of, or to decrease the prices of commodities in local markets. Is it the responsibility of the government only? No. But it is a co-responsibility between the minister and the governors of in all the Egyptian provinces. So there is some meeting happened during the last week between prime ministers, between some ministers like oil ministry, like supply minister, and also transportation, industry, and so on, with the other provinces. This is, of course, to coordinate how to cut or to decrease the prices of the commodities in local markets. This is the urgent or the core problem that they must face at once and soonly. This is one. The others, at the same time, how to improve and to revise the schedule of Ministry of Education according to what happened in the final exams of secondary schools and so on. This is another problem. At the same time, that you know that when President Abdul al-Sisi accepted the cabinet resignations and called the Madbouli to form a new one, he asked them, I mean, President Abdul al-Sisi asked them to improve the medical insurance and also the medical infrastructures in hospitals and so on. This is another urgent case. They have to deal with it.
Right.
At the same time, electricity cut and so on, and Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli promised until now that maybe from the third week of the current month they can alleviate or decrease the time of cut. And by the end of 24, they can restore power or electricity as usual before the crisis. This is one. And as you know that the cabinet in coordination, or the economic ministerial group in coordination with the CBE governor, they asked for some funds, and the CBE governor allocated $1.2 billion. This is, of course, to buy or to import the fuels needed for the electricity stations.
Right. On this note, of course, Mr. Abdul Latif Wahba, the political and economic analyst, would like to thank you so much, sir, talking to the breakfast show. We're going to go to a short break and come to continue our second segment, so stay with us.